start over here. Yeah. Sickly Victorian Child Look Isn't Healthy, episode 145 by Brett. No, 154 by Brett Cooper.
You guys, I have almost...
And also check out the one by Sydney Watson. I was going to maybe do that, but this was here as well, so, you know, I'm choosing Brett over Sydney. Don't get into cat fight. Never mind. It's stupid.
Sat down to do this episode so many times over the last few months because...
It's not because I love one more than the other. I love them both equally.
Every single time a celebrity who used to be, you know, this champion for body positivity hits a red carpet showing off their new gaunt shoulder bones or collar bones, I debate talking about this, about the fact that that proves that the entire...
It's like, I was just thinking, Hollywood, master of taking things too far. It's kind of their whole shtick.
Entire body positivity movement was a scam. But also, I've been conflicted because I haven't really felt...
I just feel like they almost do have a tendency to be like a caricature, like an over-the-top caricature of society itself a little bit. Maybe that's kind of their job as actors to do that. But man, can't be healthy, and especially with regards to some stuff.
Like ripping into people who were taking steps to try and make their life better, even if they were using Ozempic, because a lot of people who end up being the center of those stories are people that were very unhealthily overweight and who needed to make changes in their life, and objectively, whether or not you're using drugs, that is a good thing. But this past weekend, guys, after the Oscars red carpet, I decided that it was...
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I agree with that, but I also, you know, like I've mentioned this before, I didn't think some people will never actually be super skinny, not naturally in any case. But you can probably be healthier than you are. And the notion of going like beyond like healthy levels of just weight or to the point where you can do stuff, notion of like taking it way beyond that point where you're just dysfunctional in the other direction. Like a frail little Oliver Twist character or something, I don't know.
This time. We must talk about this specifically. We must talk about the new beauty standards in Hollywood that are being fueled by Ozempic. Because when we were promoting health, when we were fighting back against the body positivity movement, we did not mean sickly, plague-ridden Victorian child. That
Yes, Queen. No,
was
sorry.
not our idea of healthy.
Sorry, I'm not for whether she is. I guess maybe I'm making fun of her, but what she's saying is true.
And yet, that is how every person in Hollywood is starting to look.
That is unsightly.
As you can see on screen right here. And now listen, we did talk about this 2 days ago, but the Oscars did have their best year ever in terms of social media posting, social media buzz, and I would argue that in large part, that is because of how the internet was freaking out over everyone's weight. Now, before we dive into this, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and if you want to stay up to date on every single upload of The Brett Cooper Show, make sure to ring that notification
I refuse, but you should.
bell. Also,
Nah, I guess I don't know. Whatever works for you.
If you want behind-the-scenes content from the birthing of cows to starting our garden this year to taking my husband to Costco for
the birthing. I don't know if I've heard. Yeah, maybe that's the right way to describe it.
first time, everything like that, travel vlogs, head on over to cooperconfidential.com. That is our subscriber-only platform for BTS content. We built it from the ground up, and I love producing all of that content.
What's BTS content? Is it like IRL or something?
For you guys. All right, now diving into the story, you just need to listen to some of these comments from the Oscars. Okay, so one person said, okay, actually, everyone is so skinny for real. Like the arms, what is happening over there? Another person said, everyone got such bony shoulders now. Another person said, her body, her choice, her bones on display. Yeah, I'm not kidding. The shoulder bones. It's like, they're gonna kill people. They're so sharp. Another person said when they take starving artist to literally, exactly. And obviously, everyone online is pointing to one thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because everyone in Hollywood makes friends with each other. They've created this type of, I don't know, cultish, devilish type of thing. It's weird. They all get into the weirdest stuff over there.
Drug. I should say. Now, first of all, disclaimer alert, I am not a doctor. I am not here to talk about or debate whether Ozempic is healthy or good for you. What I am here to talk about today is unhealthy body standards and body trends, because at the end of the day, that is what all of this comes down to. And now, to be fair, there are a lot of celebrities out there who have had incredible body transformations. Some of them credit GLP-1, some of them don't. And Ozempic is just a form of a GLP-1. There's a bunch of different name brand drugs. The most common one.
Okay, so I thought I'd heard the one tennis player doing GLP-1s or something, so I'm not sure. I guess I'd never known what that was. So they're all just things that are meant to help you lose weight or something. Maybe there's some commonality there.
Is Ozempic, but they are all called GLP-1s. For example, Oprah said that she used a weight loss drug, and obviously we talked about...
For the record, I had gone over a video about Oprah way back when she had actually been into like some really unhealthy like dieting type of stuff back in the day. It was the phrase, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. I think that was a whole thing at one point. To help people starve themselves or whatever.
That on the show last year, I think, because after years of her saying Weight Watchers would solve everything and she could lose weight and still be eating bread, she came out and she was like, actually, I couldn't. And so now Weight Watchers is actually offering you drugs. So she's been very open about that. Meghan Trainor used Mounjaro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Jelly Roll, to his credit, had a huge transformation, but he did not use Ozempic. He's been very open about that.
Good on him. Yeah. And see, like, this looks like kind of a comfortable sort of, like, type of weight loss. To there's a point where, like, I feel like almost fat people wouldn't, I don't know if they just don't look good when they lose weight sometimes. There was a point, the guy from NCIS, Timothy McGee, he had lost a whole bunch of weight at one point, and he just looked super weird with that much weight off. Like his face looked like sallow or like too hollowed out, I guess. I don't know. It's like this is a really comfortable transformation in my mind.
His wife had awful side effects when she tried it, so he was worried about that, so he did it all on his own accord. Lizzo, who also looks so much healthier now, said that she tried using it but stopped soon after and focused on just eating right and working out. Barbie Ferreira, who's an actress from Euphoria, also has had an amazing transformation.
To be fair, I don't know. I have a pretty low level of confidence in the stuff that sometimes celebrities say in general. But, you know, good for them if they are doing it naturally.
And she looks fantastic. She has not confirmed whether she's used it or not, but she was like stunning at the Oscars. She was wearing this like custom blue dress that was made by Gap. Actually, it was amazing, and everybody, like, she walked out and people were like, oh my god, how is this you? Because she looked so amazing. And whether or not these specific individuals use Ozempic or GLP-1s or not, they look good. All of the people that I mentioned here, they look...
I'm gonna do this one thing again. I'll cut out the other part. It does feel like though, the whole notion of like action divorced from function, it feels like Hollywood is a lot emblematic of that. They have enough money that they can do whatever they want, and because of that, because of the fact that they are capable of being that disconnected from reality, I tend to think that's like the ultimate form of nihilism. Like when you stop using functionality as a prerequisite to action, you end up with some sort of frivolous, grotesque... You end up with some of the most like frivolous, grotesque, impractical types of behavior. Because again, like you don't have that type of judicator of thought and action. It just comes down to desires, pleasure, happiness, the more frivolous of the human emotions. It becomes very disconnected in my mind. Alright. Spiel over.
Normal and healthy. They have lost an appropriate amount of weight. They look like they are all thriving, and if they did use the Ozempic or a GLP-1, they look sturdy and like they eat a sandwich every once in a while. And if they did use Ozempic, I think it was probably for the right reasons, because with all of these individuals, there was weight that needed to be lost. There were, I'm sure, underlying health issues there. They got those under control. They're doing better now.
See, I guess I feel kind of the same way about Ozempic that I do about, you know, melatonin or whatever. I feel like you need to learn how to do this stuff naturally to regulate without some sort of artificial aid. And if that thing helps you regulate that, that's great, but you have to be able to do it yourself. Like, you have to be able to do this stuff without sticking something in your brain that fools it into doing this, like, objectively good thing in my mind. So it's like you're getting the result without the discipline that would go along with it, without the virtue that would be a part of doing that yourself. And I don't know. Like, I suppose it's, if they're, saving their own lives by losing some weight, that's great, but still.
But like with all things in our society that can be used for good or maybe start out for good, some people take it too far and some people take advantage of it.
Like the 19th Amendment. So I was just thinking, that is the one that has women voting, right? I was just thinking that would be like kind of mud on your... No. What's the phrase? Something on your face that is just like you're being embarrassed. It would be very embarrassing if I got that wrong. And I'm the one saying.
But now, luckily, you don't have to worry about being taken advantage of at GCU. Now, some people, especially on the political right, say that higher education is outdated or irrelevant in the modern
No, I don't know. Depends what you're doing with it.
era. Well, in my opinion, it's not when it is purpose-driven education like a Grand Canyon University, because GCU does not just settle for the status quo, they shatter it with academically rigorous, industry-driven programs built to move at the speed of relevance with practical skills, career readiness.
She just said speed of relevance. That makes no sense.
An opportunity for every single student. Imagine that! Practicality and programs tailored for the real world, not just made-up degrees that leave you under a mountain of debt with no job. 20 best college campuses in the purpose and help transform their communities and build a future that matters. So take action and find your purpose today at GCU. It is private, it's Christian, it's affordable, it's non-profit. Visit gcu.edu to learn more. Again, that is gcu.edu to learn more. Now, while we're on the topic of smart decisions, it is time to freshen things up this spring by switching to Pure Talk, which is my wireless company who gives you unlimited talk, unlimited text, same exact towers as all geeks. It makes
What? Must have been the wind.
to a wireless company that is affordable and that shares your values. Again, puretalk.com/Cooper. That is America's wireless company. All right, now getting back into the story, getting to the crux of it here. I, like everyone else on the internet, have noticed an increasing number of women who have not needed to lose weight, who are skinny enough on their own, looking as if they are now using Ozempic. And this trend is now racing through Hollywood, taking it right back to Oscar.
It feels like, I don't know, like, I find the notion of, like, human group behavior to be a profoundly intriguing idea. Because it feels like when you stick people in groups, like, the stuff they do, like, it almost becomes a very much a hive mind synergistic sort of thing where, like, you get people who are into really weird crap that if they were isolated, if they were comparatively isolated, if they weren't in this huge kind of dopamine induced fervor with this huge group of people, the stuff they would do would be completely out of the question. But you stick them in that scenario with all of those other people who are feeling the same way, like, it gets really weird. I don't know if you ever, like, I can have, like, I've never been in that situation particularly, but you gotta have parallel experiences where, I don't know, you go to some sort of summer camp. I've never been to summer camp, but you go to some place where you're with a whole bunch of people. You're in a, like, kind of close proximity, close association with a whole bunch of people, and stuff starts to get weird. Like, again, it's just like, I don't know if you can be in proximity with other people for extended periods of time without this type of hive mind thing developing. It kind of takes on a life of its own. That's why communes get so crazy. Hashtag Jim Jones was not a Christian, for the record. He was some weird sort of commie. I don't know. It's literally apostolic communism. That was the phrase I think he used. I don't know, like, he was into some weird stuff.
Night. Just look at Judd Apatow's daughter at the Vanity Fair Oscar party. This is crazy.
Speaking of weird people, sorry, I was thinking, like, I don't know. Never mind.
She did not used to look at that. Again, the shoulder bones, the clavicle. It looks like it could cut somebody. And the point is...
Hang on, that is unsettling. Like, it's gone past, like, healthy levels of...
She was already skinny,
loss.
and yet she's gotten progressively skinnier, just like Demi Moore was already skinny, but obviously something has changed, as you can see here in this video. And I don't think that you can just chalk this up to age.
They're like stick people.
Because it happened so quickly. Now, to really tie all of the topics together that we've been discussing this week, Layla from the Secret Wives of Mormon Wives, which we were discussing yesterday in regards to the Bachelorette, she literally just...
It's kind of funny. Kids are now drawing accurate depictions of people in Hollywood.
Entered treatment after not being able to quit Ozempic. And guys,
or rather, they're becoming increasingly accurate.
This girl, she is 5'7", she's only an inch shorter than me, and she is 99 pounds. I'll tell you straight up, I weigh 135 pounds. That is not normal. That is not healthy. And she is not the only one.
Well, you look great.
Huge viral story that's been going around, gosh, for like the last 3 or 4 months.
Okay, I'm gonna stop simping now.
Say is the massive transformation of Sharon Osbourne and Kelly Osbourne. And I want to be really careful and empathetic when I get into this part of the story, because obviously both of them are grieving the loss of Ozzy Osbourne, their husband, their father, but we still do have to admit.
Just kind of the front man for some band, right? I think, anyways. Sorry, I don't know. I mean, don't well, to be fair, I like that. I'm pretty sure it was like a heavy metal thing. That's not really my scene. Sometimes, never mind. I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, but yeah.
That what is happening right now with their bodies is not normal. That is not healthy. And so this was them at the Brit Awards just a couple of weeks ago. And to put it in perspective, if you don't know who these women are, just watch this transformation. Specifically, I want you to look at what happened between 2022 and 2023. Just watch.
2019. Holy crap. This one looks like that other, like, the Jenner guy. Sorry, I'm not using his pronouns. No offense to him, but that's not something I'm doing.
I mean, again, that's not normal. And that also, and again, I'm being gentle here, but it didn't just...
They're clearly possessed.
...start to happen.
Someone fetch the ducking stool.
Back in July when Ozzy Osbourne died. Like, this has been happening for a while. Like, you can spot the exact moment, in my opinion, like 2022, 2023, that they both started to change. And again, it has obviously gotten more drastic over the last 6 months or so, and you might say, okay, that's just grief, and I understand, that is okay. But Sharon herself, much like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives girl, has admitted publicly years ago to going too far with Ozempic. She did this all the way back in 2023. And this is what she said. It was in an interview with the Daily Mail, November of 23, and she said, I'm too gaunt, and I can't put any weight on. I want to because I feel I'm too skinny. I'm under 100.
For the record, I think the Mormon Wives thing, I think Brett had actually done a video on one of those women as well, who's apparently a husband beater and a strange sort of person in general. Do you know what's actually weird? This is a completely, well, kind of related, partially not related. You know, on Parks and Rec, there's a series. I like the series. But there's kind of a weird scene, I'm thinking it's in the first season, where I believe it's Mark or something, is going to Rashida Jones's character, I forgot her name, and kind of clearing the air about everything he's ever done. And he effectively says that when he was 16, I think, he had sex with a married woman. And her comeback to this is, oh, so you came here to brag about getting laid when you were 16. Like, I'm just saying, reverse the roles there. What if it was her coming to him about getting laid when she was 16? Like, that is, you know, I guess I don't know what, I think it was in Colorado, I guess. So I don't know what the legal standards is, but that's kind of rape, a little bit. And I'm just thinking, if it wasn't a dude involved, if it was a woman involved saying she'd had sex when she was 16, would that have been viewed the same way? Would they have made a joke about that? Like, I guess, dialing it back with regards to the Mormon housewives character, like, if it was ever reversed, if there were a man who was beating his wife, I understand to some extent, like, men are generally the more aggressive people. They're generally the ones who approach. They're generally But still, it feels like there's a double standard there, in general.
100 pounds and I don't want to be. She explained, adding to the warning, be careful what you wish for. I started Ozempic last December, so that was less than a year before, and I've been off of it for a while now, but my warning is don't give it to teenagers. It's just...
For the record, I don't think it was this Mormon house. Well, I guess I don't know if it was this Mormon housewives thing. I guess Look it up.
Just too easy. You can lose so much weight, and it is easy to become addicted to that, which is very dangerous, the 5'2" celebrity admitted. I couldn't stop losing weight now, and now I've lost 42 pounds. I can't...
5'2", that's pretty short, I think. Generally speaking, I'm trying to imagine that.
afford to lose any more. Okay, so like just take a look at that timeline. She started it in December of 2022. She's giving this interview in November, less than a year later. She said that she stopped it a while ago and she lost 42 pounds that she did not need to lose in, what was it, 5 months, 6 months? And then, even though she was sounding off the alarms, now her daughter Kelly has followed suit. But unlike her mom, who seemed a little more upfront and honest about all of it, Kelly is now attacking those who comment on her weight. She is deflecting. She's saying, don't talk about it, you're evil, don't do that. And again, I am sure that this is exacerbated by the death of her father, but as you...
Yeah, it's still, like, past a certain point, it's kind of unconscionable. Anyways, go check out the rest if you want. I think I watched too much, but yeah, The Sickly Victorian Child Look Isn't Healthy, episode 154 by Brett Cooper. Go check it out. And also, yeah, I think Sydney Watson did one on this as well. So you can go check out hers as well.